All right, good morning, everyone. I don't know if you guys can hear me. This is my first time ever streaming. So if you guys could write in the chat, that'd be helpful. Oh, okay, there you go. Damn. I think there's a bit of a delay, not gonna lie. Okay, damn. I think the delay is about 5 to 10 seconds. Maybe it'll get better, the more that I stream. But all right. Anyways, I think today's gonna be a really good day. Okay, there's already volume coming in. I have some zones marked out already on Nasdaq, but I'll go over them. So I did mark this like about an hour ago. But starting from the 4 hour time frame, there's this strong 4 hour supply zone up here, which I think we could tap into today. And then if we do tap into it, I'm not sure if we're gonna break past it or reject it. So it's really just down to how the market reacts to it. I think if the market opens up really volatile, we could easily get up to that 4 hour supply zone. Even though it's kind of far away, if the opening is strong, I think we could easily get there. Another zone I have marked down is on the 2 hour time frame. I have a 2 hour supply zone up here and then a 2 hour demand zone down here, which the market kind of has bounced off of. I don't really like this zone down here just because if you do zoom in, you could see we've kind of chopped through that 50% line. If you don't know my 50% line, it's literally just the 50% area of the zone that I have marked. The zones that I marked down are just supply and demand. The zones that I'm really looking at are this 3 hour demand zone and then this zone over here, which is a 90-minute demand zone that the price has already pushed past. This one right here, if you zoom into it, which I already circled down, but if you zoom into this 90-minute zone, when we broke past it on Friday, the reactions off of this 90-minute demand zone were perfect. Right here, market tapped into it, immediately it bounced, and then this one over here, the market closed down below this 50% line, and then we came back to retest that area, boom, and then it broke structure to the downside very fast. So I like all of the reactions off of this 90-minute zone, and I think it's the zone I'm gonna take a trade from, just because it's the closest to price. And then I did have a 5 minute supply zone marked out. Honestly, me, I don't like 5 minute zones. I know some people 5 minute zones like all they trade. Me personally, I don't know. I've just had bad experiences with 5 minute zones. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Either way, though, this 5 minute it already got ran through here, so I don't think it's a zone I'm gonna be looking at. I do like the zone though. Number one, if you look at the zone, it's a clean move down, and then over here when we did tap into the zone, we rejected it twice. And then right now it's just breaking past it. But I like all the zones today on Nasdaq. And what time is it? It's 9:08. Okay, I got time. But let's look at US 30. I've been looking at US 30 as well. And oh, honestly, I'm not I'm not sure if I'm going to be looking at US 30 anymore. The only zone I was looking at on US 30 was also a 90-minute supply zone. I'm going to double check though and see if I do find another zone. I mean, this kind of looks like a 90-minute supply zone here. If I'm not sure about a zone, I just like to zoom in on it on the 5 minute time frame and just kind of see how the market reacted to it. So on this supply zone here, mm, I don't really like it. It looks very choppy on the 5 minute time frame. I think if I do take a trade off of this zone here, I'll be very picky about it just because I don't like these reactions off of it. But today, I think today's gonna be very interesting. Like, it's the first day of the year. I'm excited. I have a little bit nerves. I'm not sure if that's because I'm streaming on YouTube or what, but I think the first day out of the year is like, everyone's on their A game. Everyone woke up early, did this and that. Everyone's on top of their shit, and like, especially today with the whole Venezuela thing, Trump is the first day back from the market that we don't really know how the market's going to react to all of that news. So I'm expecting a very crazy day, but I'm also just keeping the back of my head like, don't rush into a trade, just because you're excited or you're nervous or what. Just try to stick to the plan and try to be picky with the trade. Like, actually make sure it's the A+ setup, and just stay very self-aware. And it also, like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like, I was nervous. I don't know why, but I was nervous to, like, get on stream. And I just thought about it, and I was like, literally the worst thing that could happen is I take two losses. It's not like I'm about to crash out and, like, embarrass myself. So I don't know why I was so nervous. If I do take a loss, like, there's literally nothing wrong with it. I think, though, if starting the year out with a loss would be, like, kind of tough. Maybe that's why I was also overthinking. It's just that type of day. It's a very important day, I guess. Anyways, that's all the zones I have marked down. I don't think there's anything else in this area here on US 30. Yeah. I mean, this could have been a 30-minute supply zone here. It's not, though, because of this huge wick here. That's just not the reaction I want to see for a zone. Yeah. Okay, that looks like that's it. Honestly, looking at these zones on US 30 and Nasdaq, I can already tell I'm most likely gonna trade Nasdaq just because of the zones that I have marked out. If US 30 was like still down here, I would have been looking at it as well. Because I was looking at this 90-minute zone here. But we already broke past it. So it's not really a missed trade. It's just the trade kind of already happened. But we'll see how the market opens up. Now that I have all the zones marked out, I'm just going to mark out support and resistance. Yeah, let me mark this really quick, and then I'm going to check if there's any high impact news. I'm pretty sure there is 10 a.m. news. Let me check it after this, though. I'm pretty sure there is, though. I'm also not going to be looking at the chat like too much, especially when I'm actually trading. I want to make sure I'm like just dialed in, focused, especially if there's like any weird comments like that. I don't want it to mess up, the mindset. So I'm not going to be looking at the charts, or sorry, at the chat too much. Not until after I finish trading, probably. Then I'll start to answer questions and actually start talking to you guys. There's not much in this area here. This whole area here. I'm looking at the 1 hour time frame. And usually when I see this, like, you can just tell when price gets to this area, it goes straight up in that direction or it goes straight down, literally most of the time. So that makes me think if price does get above this area, this 90-minute demand zone, if we do get above this 50% line, which is around 630s, if it gets above 630s, I'm honestly going to expect the market to go up until this 4 hour supply zone or even this 2 hour, right? And that'll give us a pretty good move. That's a trade idea right there. That would be considered a breakout trade, which would be perfect if the market opens up with like a lot of volume. For the shorts, not gonna lie, shorts is literally from that same area. Like, this is literally the only zone I like today. Usually I have about 4 zones that I look at. Today I just have one. This is the one right here. We haven't really tapped into it this session, and I think we could easily tap into it when the market opens up. But anyways, for the shorts, it'll be simple. If we tap into this area around the 620s and then we start to reject it and break structure to the downside, I would take shorts. And I think that would make sense, kind of. I think both ways make sense, right? But for the shorts, the trade idea could be something like this with a tight stop. And then, I mean, we could target either true. Damn, I'm stuttering. My bad, my bad. Yo. Either we could target true day open or London lows, Asian lows. Boom. That's a trade idea. I don't know if it's going to happen. We'll see. We'll also see how the market opens up. I mean, everyone's expecting a crazy day today. It's the first Monday of the year. We had all that stuff with Trump and Venezuela and whatever. So I don't know. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Everyone just kind of knows that it's going to be a crazy day. Everyone's expecting that. But yeah, I'm literally done charting. So let's see. Yeah, there is high impact 10 a.m. news. It's called PMI. No clue what it is. But if it's high impact at 10 a.m., sometimes you'll get a slower open and then like more volume kicks in at 10. But some people also like to just wait for what you call it, for news. They don't trade until news. I don't like to do that. I think if a setup shows up, then I'm gonna take it. I do plan on streaming all year. Yeah. Let me finish US 30. I mean, I know I probably won't really trade it, but I'm going to chart it out in case it's more volatile than Nasdaq. Also, guys, if I sound out of breath, it's because I am. I was sick over the weekend. I've been a mouth breather for a couple of days because I got sick. So I'm getting back used to like nose breathing, and I definitely feel a difference. I think every January I get sick. Like it's just part of their routine now. I think this is the fourth January in a row where I got sick. Are you trading funded account or evalves? I'm trading all funded accounts. I have five 50K Express accounts. I have five 50K straight to funded with funding ticks. And then I have other accounts with I do have other accounts with Apex. I wasn't gonna like tell anyone because I don't want to seem like an affiliate with Apex. I just don't recommend Apex for beginners, so I don't really talk about it too much. I haven't traded Apex in almost 2 years. So my first time trading Apex in a while. I have 20 PA accounts with Apex. Literally, here it is. It's zoomed in right now, but I passed these on, I don't know, it was some day last week. Full ported it, boom, passed the 20 accounts. And the goal with the 20 PA accounts is literally to take it slow. I don't plan on like, building it up like crazy. I plan on doing the bare minimum with those accounts. With Top Step though, I honestly like last year I was very conservative, very slow with the accounts, which like there's nothing wrong with, but I did let leave a lot of money on the table. I don't know if like that's a greed thing, but I know that like last year I definitely could have sized up on certain trades like when I saw the opportunity, but I didn't cuz I was just like, you know, playing it very slow. This year I'm going to play it slow on like 20 Apex accounts and then kind of more aggressive on Top Step accounts. So I'm kind of like shifting. It's not even strategy, it's just like, I guess, the risk management part. Must have taken forever to sign up with those accounts. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But what I did was I literally just took one tab and then I duplicated it into like 10 and I went to each tab. It was easier cuz like I have a mouse. If it was on a laptop, it'd be way harder. I'm going to double check Nasdaq to see if I missed any zones. This could potentially be a 30-minute zone. I'm not going to mark it out yet cuz the candle hasn't closed. But if this green candle closes out strong at 9:30, this could be a 30-minute demand zone that I could also look at. I know I have this 5 minute thing marked out here, which is huge. Um, and I'm gonna keep my eyes on it as well. So if the market opens up, I do want to see it kind of retest this area. If we respect it, I would expect a breakout to the upside. But if we get below this 50% area, which for me is 580, I think what I would want to see is something like that for shorts. So I'm keeping an open mind here. Not trying to predict the market. I'm trying to read the market, then execute from there. How many accounts am I trading? I'm trading about 31. 31. I'm not using a copy trader either. I tried using like a very good copy trader. What was it called? Trade Sinker. Tried it, didn't like it. Like it was messing up too much, and I have like OCD with the charts. I want to make sure everything is like not perfect, but everything is good. I want to make sure I don't have to worry about like glitches or something. And when I was trading with Trade Sinker, it was just like always an issue. Like it was 2 issues out of 5 days. For me, that's too much. I don't want to stress about it. So what I'm gonna do is just execute separately for each prop firm. I haven't tried Replicanto. I know it's really good. I know it. I just have to take time to set it up. And I'm pretty sure Replicanto is like pretty pricey. I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but all right. Well, this 5 minute candle on Nasdaq so far is rejecting this 90 minutes supply zone. If I was a trader that would trade before 9:30, I mean, depending on how this candle closed, kind of would take a trade, but I'm going to try to wait for at least 9:31. That's the earliest I'll take a trade. I want to see at least the 1 minute candle close. Markets may be crazy due to the Venezuela events. Yeah, for sure. I also wanted to check VWAP, see where it is. Okay, we haven't touched VWAP on NASDAQ for about 7 hours. Sometimes when I see that, I just think we're most likely going to tap into it New York session, but we'll see. This candle this candle looks like it's going to close out rejecting this 90-minute supply zone. I mean, even on the 1 minute time frame, we haven't even seen a 1 minute candle close above that 50% line. Let's see how it closes though. Okay, now it's pushing up. Okay, and more volume's kicking in. So now hold 360. What I want to see now, since this 5 minute candle is gonna close above this 50% line, which is above 630, I want to see some sort of retest of this area here. Once I see a retest, which is most likely going to be at 930, and the break of the highs, I would take a long. Okay, there's market open. It retested this area and it broke the highs. I'm going to go long here. I'm going to try to go long. Oh my god. MQ. Okay, I'm long here and I'm going to risk about 50 ticks. Might be too tight. Light risk right now. And I'm only taking this on one account on Top Step. So I want to see the 1 minute candle close. And then if I get stopped out, I'll probably wait to see if the highs get broken. Yeah, I got stopped out on that. I still think the longs could come in if it stays above 630. This could just be a retest of the area. The only way I would think shorts now is if I see a 1 minute candle close below 624. If I see something like that. Because if that happens, then most likely this 5 minute here, this 5 minute candle would be a wick. But let's see. Yeah, that's a crazy push down. I'll definitely have to be careful with the entries. It's really volatile. Yeah, like, I'd be careful for sure. There could be crazy slippage. Damn, US 30, insane. Yeah, that's a crazy open. I didn't even think US 30 would get up here. It did get up here though. On this 4 hour supply zone. I'm definitely gonna size down to micros if it's gonna be this volatile. First 5 minutes of Nasdaq, the opening range is huge. There's crazy volume, especially on US 30. On US 30, it's going to tap this 4-hour supply zone, which is a really clean zone. I might look at US 30. Nasdaq definitely might push lower. It's just I kind of don't have a really good entry until it taps this 30-minute demand zone, or until it goes back up here to this 90-minute. Alright, I'm looking at Nasdaq. It tapped into this 30-minute demand zone. So this would be my second trade opportunity. Definitely want to see it touch VWAP. And then if I see a candle close below 538, I would take shorts. But if I see it start to break structure to the upside, then I would take longs. I'm also gonna keep measuring out these candles just to get an idea where my stop loss might be. Since it's very volatile, I think the stop loss is gonna have to be wider than usual to let the trade breathe, meaning I'm gonna most likely have to size down. Yeah, this is crazy volume. US 30 is very close to all-time highs. I'm trying to see if Nasdaq would come back down to this 30-minute zone for a retest. US 30s breaking past this 50% line on the 4 hour zone. And it'll also be a 5 minute candle close. I think US 30 longs are a really good trade. I'm honestly just waiting to get a good entry. Which I might not get. I'm gonna be honest. Might not get a good entry. Especially since there's just crazy volume. Usually when there's crazy volume, I do tend to miss like the perfect entries. But I'd rather have a good entry so the stop loss could make sense. Okay, here's Nasdaq retesting this 30-minute demand zone. It looks like he's gonna break past it, but the only thing with shorts on Nasdaq is just that VWAP is there. Okay, I'm liking this move on Nasdaq. Q. Let's see how it closes. Yeah, I like this close on Nasdaq. I'm gonna go long here on Nasdaq with 5 micros, which is pretty light. But that's gonna allow me to have a really wide stop at these lows. Once these highs break, I'm going to start to trail it on some accounts and actually take profit. Okay. I took profit on some accounts on that trade. On my Apex counts, if anyone's wondering. How many ticks is this? I'm up over 100 ticks, so I'm actually going to break even on this. I don't want to. I want to let it breathe, but it's also just crazy volatile. So I'm going to break even. Yeah, I got stopped out break even. I did take profit on some accounts. I still like the longs as well. I think it's still a good trade, even though I got stopped out break even on these accounts. Damn, the sizing's like it could be good, it could be bad, but like for example on these accounts, I used 5 micros and it wasn't anything crazy. Like I didn't take profit. But on these other accounts, I just used 1 mini and I was able to take profit. Yeah, I really like the lines. I'm upset I got hit break even. The only way I would go back long, yeah, I don't know. The only way I would go back long is for like my usual entry. It would have to be up here. At least a candle closed above 636. I didn't think US 30 was gonna go that crazy. Like US 30, she she's always surprising me. I'm not gonna lie. US 30 is actually like it has insane days. Nasdaq as well, but US 30 is just it's something else. And like I literally was looking at this zone here. It just happened so quick. I only would have taken this long here only if I placed the order. Obviously, I didn't do that, but like if I did place the order, it would have been perfect. That was a crazy move on US 30. And this was a really good setup here as well on US 30. This 1 minute candle closed above this 50% area. I didn't really see kind of a retest. I mean, I guess it did happen right here. Very tiny, very quick. But this was also a good trade idea. And I think US 30 could go up to this 3 hour supply zone. I'm gonna keep looking at the charts. Um, I'm done trading on some accounts, but other accounts I'm just break even. And then on these accounts, I have one full loss. So I'm gonna wait and see. The only setups I currently am waiting for is this 3 hour supply zone. I think if US 30 gets above 256, we could easily break all time highs and go past it. If we reject it, I think it'd be a good area to reject. Nasdaq, mm, I'd be careful. Like Nasdaq really doesn't have any sort of direction right now at all. I would say, especially on the smaller time frame, it's moving sideways. So hopefully it picks a direction. If Nasdaq picks a direction, it'd be a easy trade for sure. It's crazy though, cause these these candlesticks on Nasdaq look small, but they're pretty big. Like that trade there, it looks honestly it looks very small. but it was 200 tick move. And then I closed out around here like a 10-second trade. Definitely a different market. Way different than um what is it called? December. Way different price action. At least for today. Have you considered trading gold yet? Yes, I definitely have. I think if I trade gold, it'd be for like, a whole set of different accounts and it'd be for Asian session. I think that would be cool. But for me, it's just like I'm already profitable doing one thing. So, like, if I do gold, I would keep it separate from like my usual accounts. Another thing just to know about these markets today is like everyone's expecting a crazy move. Everyone was probably expecting like a crazy trending market, which it could still happen. Like, it could happen in 10 minutes with high impact news at 10 a.m. But like everyone was expecting like a crazy open on Nasdaq mainly. And it's been very volatile, but it's been very choppy, especially on the 1 minute time frame. It's just something to note, like, yes, it's very volatile, but right now there's not any sort of direction on NASDAQ, so why rush into a trade? I think the latest I'll wait for a trade is 10:30. If I don't see the high impact news, like, add way more volume into this, but especially direction, if I don't see it add direction, for me that would be like breaking out of the 15-minute opening range, which I have marked out here. These yellow lines is the opening range. That's how I kind of tell what's the direction of the day or what's the direction right now. And I think a orb trade would be good. I think it'd be good because there's really good volume. Usually for an orb trade to work, like you just need good volume and direction. Right now we have good volume, but just no direction yet. What copy trader do you use for Apex? I just used a copy trader on Tradeovate. Like this copy trader on Tradeovate. I've never had an issue with Tradeovate copy trade, never. But I've had many issues with TradeSyncer, which sucks because the idea of the platform is good. Like I wish TradeSyncer worked for me, but what TradeSyncer did, I think it really just made me anxious. You know, your volume is low. Oh damn. Actually, you know what? Let me see. Let me see. It should be a tad bit louder now. Keep the mic closed. I gotta talk like this. Let me move it. That'd be better. Silver. I've heard crazy things about silver. Like, it's like every night I'm on Instagram, I see someone a crazy silver trade during Asian session. Yeah, I would not trade Nasdaq until it changes. Everything's low probability right now. Yeah, basically. Yeah, I'm still looking at US 30 like, wow. I think this year for sure, like, I'm gonna be looking at US 30 way more. That was a crazy open. Like, this 1 minute chart here looks like a 5 minute chart. Let's see, we got 4 more minutes for news. I think longs and shorts would both make sense for Nasdaq. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm hoping the shorts come in more. I think the short setup would be a bit more cleaner for me. Let's see. It could be one of those days where it's just a slower open and then more volume kicks in later on. Is anyone looking into like certain stocks to invest in because of this whole Venezuela thing? I've heard a lot of talking about oil, like oil stocks. Oil companies, yeah. All right, here's the 10 a.m. news. In about 1 minute, starting to see a little triangle pattern. I mean, I don't trade triangle patterns, but I just think it's always funny to like spot them out. I think this is called an ascending triangle, something like that. Wedge breakout. They do play out nice. The only way I would go short if it's only if price gets below 538, which is all the way down here, a 30-minute demand zone that the market tapped into right here and rejected. That's why I took longs. Even though we did reject it over here and I did take longs, it's not like the longs were able to break these highs over here. It could still happen, but it's just something to note that right now is struggling to break past the highs. All right, well, that was the 10 a.m. candle, and honestly, it's a bit sad. It's not like a crazy high impact candle. I mean, we still got time, but I want to see more volume kick in like ASAP. I also want to see a change in the candlesticks, how they're closing on the 1 minute time frame. I want to see stronger closing candles, right? Like with bigger bodies, smaller wicks. Right now, what we're seeing is just 1 minute candles with like small bodies and pretty big wicks, which is not a good sign. So I do want to see that change pretty soon. If it doesn't change, I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably not gonna trade anymore. Especially since my main accounts, I took a base hit. I mean, I don't think there's a crazy day. It just seems like a crazy day because it's 20 accounts. In reality, though, it's just a base hit, which is perfect. Base hits are base hits. They're literally all you need. I mean, I also wouldn't rush to take a trade, right? Like, if you're getting chopped up or if you took a loss, like me, I took one loss over here and then I took a big win over here, kind of break even. It sucks because now that I don't have a actual copy trader, every account now is kind of gonna have a different result. But like, don't worry if maybe you took a loss today, maybe you didn't. If you got a small win, I would like, protect that capital. Maybe be extra picky with your next trade or just call it a day. That's what I'm doing right now. It's also just Monday, so like, don't start off the week with bad habits. Don't start off the year with bad habits. How many Apex accounts do you have? I have 20 PAs. I just passed them last week. This is my first trade on them. The goal with the Apex accounts, literally just base hits. And honestly, most likely with the Apex accounts, I'll probably do like one trade a day. Like the Apex accounts are gonna be something on the side, you know. Back to bed for me, as you should. I mean, the price action definitely letting a lot of people down, but it's just Monday. I'm not too worried. I'm honestly looking at US 30 a bit more. US 30 is tapping into this 3 hour supply zone. And if US 30 breaks this 1 minute candle here, usually I would take a short there if that does happen. Yeah, it's already, or it was gonna break structure to the downside. YM. Longs on Nasdaq might pop in too, but I think for me my better setup would be US 30, just because the zone is better. It's a 3 hour supply zone. Yeah, look, it's rejecting this area. I'm gonna start taking shorts on US 30. Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. I'm in shorts on US 30. And I'm gonna put my stops at the highs. Pretty wide stop. That's so weird. I can't place a trade on US 30 on these other accounts. Not sure why. There we go. This is gonna be my last trade of the day. This will be my third trade. Do you ever cut the trade early? I try not to. Sometimes though, like if I see certain price action or if I see an actual reason to cut it out early, then I do cut it out early. But it's very rare. Usually I tell myself to just, if you place a trade, the trade made sense to you, so let it play out. Which is not the best feeling. Like, it actually sucks to do most of the time. Because if you're thinking about closing it out early, like, you're probably overthinking it, you know? Or you just don't want to lose, which is understandable. I mean, I don't want to lose right now, but I also understand, like, if I lose right now, it's not the end of the world, you know? The loss is managed, and most likely tomorrow, I'm going to make it back, right? Or if I don't make it back tomorrow, maybe the next day. Alright, US 30 looks like it's retesting this area again here. I do want to see it reject the area, which is kind of doing now, but I do want to see it break these lows here, like pretty soon. I think if it happens soon, it'll be a good sign for the shorts. Another thing with closing out trades early is, like, sometimes you close out a trade early and it ends up playing out in your way. You know, it was just a matter of waiting. And it's happened a lot, not just to me, to a lot of traders. I really like this trade. It's just I'm not seeing any, like, any sort of break of structure. I want to see a better push. Yeah, it's kind of failing to make a move lower. It also looks like it definitely slowed down by a lot, which is crazy because it's only 10:13. But that reminds me, literally the best time to take a trade is almost always the first 15 minutes. If you're a breakout trader like me, I'm definitely a breakout trader at heart. And the best breakout was the first 5 minutes on US 30. That was the best breakout today. Just sold some silver at 77. I swear, I tried backtesting silver and I don't know what was up, but like, it wasn't adding up. I don't know if it's because I'm so used to Nasdaq. It wasn't working for me. Maybe too, I was just trading, like, or I was backtesting it on New York session. And I know a lot of people trade it during Asian, like gold. All right. I mean, I still like this trade, but the fact that it hasn't really broken these lows here on the 1 minute time frame, I think I'll get stopped out for sure if we don't like actually make the move lower soon. I mean, the 15-minute candle closed out rejecting it. I do like that. All right, let's see if it actually pushes down. Today reminds me of like just Nasdaq always doing what most people think it's not gonna do. Like I expected a very crazy open, and I know other people did too. And I mean, the opening wasn't that insane. Only on US 30. Nasdaq though, I mean, what happened? I don't know. Look at the 5 minute time frame too. Like after the first 15 minutes, it just slows down. You can see the price action, how the candles closed, small bodies, big wicks. Yeah, I think I'll get stopped out of this trade. Especially, it really depends on how this 5 minute closes out. I think if the 5 minute closes out below these wicks, I'll be good. But right now, it just looks like it's gonna close out with a wick. And I think if that does happen, well, most likely it'll start to chop up around this area. I could also have a wider stop loss, and it kind of would make sense, but I also don't want to risk too much. I've never had consistent success with NQ. It's hard. It's hard because I don't want to say it's unpredictable because like, it's not, but it's just I like to think about it. It's a bit toxic. Like it's just toxic. I mean, I like it. Like it's just there's really good volume most days, but some days like today there's good volume, just no direction, and that's what I call toxic. Like I don't know. It's just it's hard to trade that way. At least for me. It's also a huge reason why I started to look at US 30. Like, I used to be a trader that just traded NQ. Now, though, I like to look at US 30, and it's cleaner for sure. For sure, the first 15 minutes is very clean. NQ is like a Latina. Yeah. Is there any free Discord? Yeah, link below. My girl calls me Nas Jr. I don't understand NQ's hype. ES is much better in my opinion. Yeah, I've heard good things about ES as well. I've heard ES is the good girlfriend. That's what I've heard. And NQ is the toxic one. How did I meet my girl? We worked at Chick-fil-A together, and she was my manager, and she wanted to be work besties. And I mean, we became best friends. And that was when I was 15. Bagged him it. Yeah, I'm saying, like, what? Honestly, it was a dream come true. Alright, well, I got stopped out of that trade. I'm gonna call it a day. I mean, I hit my daily max loss limit on these tops up accounts, but I hit a really good base hit on these apex counts. So I don't know. It's kind of a win lose type of day. Honestly, I'm gonna say it's a winning day. I mean, for the crazy price action that there was, nasty fake outs on NQ, and then US 30 honestly just missed these longs. That was really it for today. So right now what I'm going to do is just journal. I'm just going to journal the what you call it? The three trades. It's kind of hard to journal though cuz like all the prop firms are spread out and stuff. Let me see on TradeZella though. Also, the way I journal is I post it on the free Discord, so that's kind of another way of journaling. Just somewhere to like have the trades I take every day. Have it somewhere with a screenshot, explanation. Okay, the first trade I took, I only took it on these tops up accounts, which is why they're kind of not deep in the red, but it's why I hit the daily max loss limit. First trade I took was these longs. Really, I just took them because there was a 1 minute candle close above this 50% line here. Market opened up at 9:30, came back to retest this area here, and then we broke these highs again. Damn, that looks messy. Uh, that was the idea though. And now that I think about it, it was perfect, but on US 30 kind of had the same zone, 90-minute supply zone. If you look at the 1 minute time frame, easily could have caught these longs. The only issue would have been there wasn't any sort of retest, which I like to see, but it was clean, right? Like you had this 1 minute candle close above it and then immediately broke highs. This could have been a really clean trade here with either a very tight stop loss or a 50-point stop. And I could have targeted this 4 hour supply zone up here. So honestly, I think I was right on the direction, just the wrong stock. I'm gonna say that was my excuse for this loss. I mean, I'm just playing, but I like to be delusional. So I'm gonna just say that was the reason. And I think this trade would have played out really well. I do. I think what I could have done was I could have waited for these highs to get broken. Right, shoulda, coulda, would have. But if I did that, the reason I didn't do that was just because if we did break these highs up here like very, very fast, then my trade would have been all the way up here and the stop loss wouldn't have really made sense to me. That's why I got in the trade faster so the stop loss could be closer to this area down here. Let me start writing this down. Let me screenshot it first. And also, when I journal and I screenshot the trade, what I like to do is I like to write down what time frame I'm screenshotting. So right now I'm on the 1 minute, so I just write 1 minute time frame, and then I screenshot it that way. And then I also screenshot it on a 5 minute time frame. Sometimes I screenshot it on like the 1 hour as well, just to kind of put somewhere on the screenshot, kind of understand what I was looking at on a bigger time frame. Like screenshotting my confluences or screenshotting the reason why I thought this, the reason why I took the trade. So first trade I took longs on Nasdaq right after 9:31. After a 1 minute candle close above a 90-minute zone. Another mistake that I just realized I kind of made was on this first trade, the sizing was one contract on the top step accounts. And then on the second trade I took, it was 5 micros. And now that I'm looking at the trades, if I took that second trade with the same sizing and honestly kind of the same stop loss, I would have made back the loss and more. So, just keeping that in mind, I think keeping the sizing the same throughout the same session is also key. It's like, for example, this move here could have covered this loss easily, but it didn't because I was in micros. Okay, second trade. Second trade was very clean. Honestly, usually if I take this trade, I think the trade usually like goes straight to like the next area of interest, which to me it would have been this 4 hour supply zone. Clearly though the volume died down and like I mean it's just doing whatever it wants in a very slow way. But I think if there was more volume throughout the session and more direction, I easily could have hit TP, like full TP on this trade. Second trade took longs after market tapped a 30-minute demand zone and immediately rejected it. Third trade was on US 30. This was not a breakout trade, which is why I was confident in it. The breakout had already happened down here. So usually if I miss a breakout, I kind of expect the market to go back into its range or just go back into retesting some sort of, I don't know, support resistance, supply and demand. That was my thinking behind this trade. As well as on the 1 minute time frame, as soon as we tapped into this area here, immediately it started rejecting it, like these candle closes here. We're wicking off the zone, and then we're also kind of breaking structure to the downside. That's why I took shorts. And again, like I would say 80%, maybe not 80. Very often this would have hit TP. But with the market slowing down, it just makes it hard, you know? And then let me screenshot this. I also want to double check if this is the real all-time highs on US 30. Oof, it is. Oof, that kind of sucks, not gonna lie. I don't like US 30 when it's at all-time highs. That was a look at this 4-hour candle. That was insane. US 30, she's, damn. Maybe I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'm over exaggerating it, but like, it's actually such a crazy move. Okay, third trade, 1 minute time frame. Took shorts after a took shorts after a 1 minute candle closed out, rejecting the zone, and started breaking structure to the upside. Oh, I spelled that wrong. To the downside. I'm up 739. My account locked out for the day. Nice. Yeah, I would definitely lock out as well. Just want to say thank you for all your videos. Thank you. I try. I got max funding today. Gonna cruise with micros the whole year. Yeah, I would do that too. Especially if it's your first time, like getting max fund. I don't know if it is, but if it is your first time getting max funded, I think your best choice is gonna be to take it slow. You know, just because it's your first time, you're gonna deal with like newer emotions. When did you end up going full time? Last year, January. It was a huge risk, but I believed in myself, you know, and I also told myself that like since trading was going to be my main income to not stress about it too much. You know, not think about the money too much. Cuz once you think about trading too much with trading, it's just like Did I say that right? Once you think about money too much with trading, that don't even sound right. I'm talking too much. Yo, if you're thinking about money too much when you trade, it just takes over, and it's not healthy. Cuz once it takes over, it's all you think about. Like I think if it was me trading like a couple years ago, I was just thinking about the money. If I was trading this price action, I know I would have blown an account 'cause I was chasing money. And when you chase money, you expect like big moves, and you can't chase big moves in a slower market. So when you do go full time with trading, you need like some sort of side hustle or side income or something else, besides trading. And for a lot of traders, it's, building a community, which there's truly nothing wrong with, right? But I think if you lie about your results, that's wrong, right? But there's nothing wrong with like wanting to teach others. Or like I know what's his other I forgot his name, but he's like a full-time DJ and like he trades. Like if you have some sort of passion and you trade, it's a perfect combination cuz you could just focus on your passion and then just trade in the morning. Do something light. I only think about trading when it's 8:20 and I'm hopping on the charts. That's good. Yeah. I used to be the trader that I would like just stress about trading. I used to work overnights and like during my overnight shift, it'd be the only thing I was thinking about. It was trading. And that was just so unhealthy. Now though, like I really only think about trading in the morning. Some days I think about it more than others. Um some days I even get anxious about it to this day. It doesn't happen like 1,000% of the time, but at least one day out of the month, like I'll be anxious to trade. I don't know why, but I think the more aware I am of it, like it doesn't affect me too much. But yeah, that was it for me. I mean, I'm not gonna trade anymore, so if you guys have any questions, I'm definitely down to answer them. I also want to look at what type of news there's gonna be this week. Wednesday, mm, some sort of high impact news at 10 a.m. Thursday, there's 8:30 news. I guess that's gonna be good. And then Friday, high impact news at 8:30 and 10 a.m. I think this week's gonna be good. Looking at the high impact news, for sure we're gonna have good volume, and that'll help the market. Are you gonna stream every day? Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal. When I go on vacation though, or like when I go somewhere, it's gonna be really hard to stream because the laptop that I have is not that good. It's not that good. My PC is top tier, but my laptop, the opposite. So I don't know, if I'm gonna stream if I do go somewhere. But I think if I do go like full on vacation to another country, hopefully it's during the summer, when the markets are slower. That way I actually don't trade. Let me see Nasdaq. How close is it to all-time highs? Okay. Yeah, it's not that close. ES. Oh, ES is very close to all-time highs. That might suck, honestly. Damn, if we get close to all-time highs, hopefully we get a pullback. I'm just not good at trading all-time highs. Because I usually don't have too many zones up there. Would you mind running to the trades super quick? Yeah. Also, I did post a trade recap in the free Discord, which you can join in the link below. Alright, the first trade took a loss on these Top Step accounts. Took longs. I expected, since we broke past this 90-minute zone here, that the trade idea was something like this. If we get past this area, most likely we'll tap into the next area of interest, which for me would have been this 4-hour supply zone. And it's also a 2-hour supply zone. That was the first trade idea. It was a very tight stop loss. Got stopped out pretty quick, which was fine. I waited. Next trade idea was this 30-minute demand zone. If you go to the 30-minute time frame, it's a very clean zone. And also, VWAP was around this area, which was perfect. I usually have VWAP, I would say like 90% of the time, near some sort of supply and demand zone. I don't know how, it just kind of always lines up that way most of the time. But anyways, the market tapped into this 30-minute zone. Immediately it rejected it, and it also rejected VWAP right there. Once I saw this candle close out green, I took the long. If you zoom in, you can see the entry was around once it broke this wick here. And now that I look at this trade, shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? The entry could have been lower all the way down here. But I did want to wait for at least a 1-minute candle close to happen. And that's why the entry was kind of up here. This trade was fine, right? Like, I was able to take profit on these Apex accounts, and that was awesome. I did want that. But I did break even on the Top Step accounts. So that sucked. And I also broke even on the other accounts. And then the third trade was on US 30. There was a 3-hour supply zone here that we're breaking past like crazy. Anyways, 3-hour supply zone. When the market tapped into this area here, it did slow down and immediately started breaking structure to the downside. So once I saw that, I took the shorts, light risk, nothing crazy since the markets were already slowing down. And then I took the loss. I would say it was a very decent day. I mean, even though I'm red on some accounts, I think it was perfect. And it also could have been worse for sure. But alright, that was it for me. I'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. with the same plan. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I don't know how to end the stream. Like, I definitely need an outro. Definitely need to get used to it. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. And damn, don't be on the charts all day. Take it slow.